If this universe is actually a supercomputer, then the following physical paradoxes are the fatal bugs the creator slipped into the code. Starting with proof that your body is a lie, moving to space is a lie, and ending with the chilling realization that even your consciousness never existed in the first place. Buckle up and watch this one straight through. The Ship of Theseus. This paradox kicks off with a story from Greek mythology. The hero Theseus sailed back to Athens after taking down the Minotaur. The ship he rode home on was kept and preserved by the Athenian people in a temple. As the ship rotted away over time, they began pulling it apart and gradually swapping out each damaged plank for a new one. This process kept repeating until every single original component had been replaced. At that point, the ancient philosopher Plutarch threw out the question: if you replace every plank on a ship one by one until all the old planks have been swapped out for completely new ones, is this still the same ship? This philosophical question from 2,000 years ago has, in modern physics and biology, exploded into the most terrifying question about our own existence. Don't write this off as a story about a wooden boat. At the microscopic scale, the cells in your body are constantly dying off and spawning anew. Roughly every 7 years, most of the atoms that hold your body together are completely replaced by new ones pulled in from the environment. That means you right now, the person holding your phone, and the person you were 7 years ago barely share a single atom. So then, the one who carries your childhood memories, the one who first felt your original pain, did they quietly slip away, completely dead, somewhere in the churn of cellular turnover? Are you now a continuous living thread, or merely an accidental copy who inherited a dead person's memories, stitched together from entirely new atoms? Zeno's paradox of the tortoise. If you race against a tortoise and the tortoise gets a head start, you will never catch up. This is not a trivial riddle. It is a fatal crack in the structure of space itself, cracked open 2,000 years ago with a logic so airtight it's terrifying. To catch the tortoise, you must first close the gap to where it currently stands. But the moment you get there, the tortoise has inched forward. When you close that gap, the tortoise has crept ahead again. No matter how small the distance shrinks, this process can always be sliced infinitely thinner. By pure logic, you are trapped behind the tortoise forever. Modern mathematics cuts through this with the theory of limits, but physics hits back with an even more disturbing answer. If space can be divided infinitely, then movement itself cannot actually exist. The reason you can run at all is because our universe, like a computer screen, is built from the tiniest possible pixels called Planck lengths. That small tortoise from 2,000 years ago accidentally blew the lid off the creator's secret. Our world is in fact a sequence of frames, refreshing continuously at the speed of light. The Bootstrap paradox. Suppose you have a time machine and you travel back to 1905 with a book about the theory of general relativity tucked under your arm, then hand it off to a young Einstein grinding away as a patent office clerk. Einstein reads it, absorbs it, and builds out the formulas within. After publishing, the theory rocks the world and cements him as the master scientist who rewrote the course of human history. More than 100 years later, you buy that same book, climb back into your time machine, and once again, slip it to a young Einstein. The question that sends a chill down your spine. This book that lays out the entirety of the universe's space-time. This great and perfectly logical theory. Who actually dreamed it up? Not you, because you only picked it up at a bookstore. Not Einstein either, because he only copied it from your book. That complex information just hangs there like a ghost conjured from nothing. No point of origin, no original author, spinning endlessly in a closed time loop. This paradox has inadvertently torn a hole in a fundamental law of the universe. If the future can reach back and tamper with the past, then cause and effect fall apart completely. The free will you swear by, and the scientific inspiration that human minds have always taken pride in, perhaps they are nothing more than a piece of code the creator is forced to run forever inside a sealed time loop. The twin paradox. Time is deeply unfair. It bends like a lump of clay pressed between someone's fingers. One twin boards a spaceship and tears off into the cosmos at near the speed of light, while the other stays put on Earth. When the traveling twin thinks the journey has only taken a few years and touches back down, he finds his brother died long ago, nothing left but a moss-covered gravestone. The traveling twin wasn't biologically frozen, nor did he leap into the future through some kind of magic. He simply lived out a few normal years, as measured by his own wristwatch. Einstein's theory of relativity has brutally dismantled our belief in absolute time. This means, move fast enough, and you can leave the entire human race in the dust, with no chance of ever landing back on the same point in time. The coldest truth in physics. The going home you picture in your head is, in reality, only a one-way trip through different dimensions of space-time. It stretches the loneliness of space and time out to its absolute breaking point. Maxwell's demon. By the laws of nature, everything in the universe naturally slides toward chaos and cold. Just like a hot cup of coffee left on the table will bleed its heat into the air and go cold. But the physicist Maxwell conjured up a demon capable of pushing back against this law. Picture a box packed with air particles, split down the middle by a tiny door. The demon stands watch and does one thing only. Spot a fast-moving, hot particle, swing the door open and let it pass to the right. Spot a slow-moving, cold particle, shunt it to the left. Without burning a single drop of energy, it has automatically driven one side of the box blazing hot and the other side ice cold. It has pulled order out of chaos. For over 100 years, countless leading minds took swings at killing this demon, until they stumbled onto a truth that shook the whole edifice. To sort the particles, the demon must observe, remember, and crunch information. When its memory fills up, it's forced to wipe the old data to keep recording. That act of deleting data burns energy and bleeds heat into the environment, which is why the laws of the universe don't actually buckle. A train of thought firing in your head, a byte of data sitting on a hard drive, a stone lying out in a field, they are all fundamentally the same thing. Your thoughts are not invisible. They carry energy and leave a mark on the universe. Schrodinger's cat. Picture a cat locked inside a sealed box. Inside sits a device containing poison. Whether it triggers or not is completely random. A straight 50-50. If you haven't opened the box yet, ordinary logic pipes up. The cat is either already dead or it's still alive. But quantum mechanics fires back with a completely unhinged answer. The cat is both alive and dead at the same time. It hovers in a strange superposition state. Only when you pry the box open and look inside are you forced to commit to a single outcome. The cat lives, or it doesn't. Your act of observation is what seals its fate. This paradox drags us to a spine-chilling conclusion about the nature of reality. This world does not sit in a fixed state. It is our gaze that calls reality into existence. Strip away every human observer, every set of eyes, every mind that perceives, and the entire universe collapses into nothing but an invisible, meaningless void. Reality isn't sitting there waiting to be discovered. You are actively painting it into existence, every single day. The simulation hypothesis. Close your eyes for a moment and tune into your own breath and heartbeat. Does everything feel 100% real? But this paradox shoots back. That may only be because the code powering this simulation was written too perfectly. Look at the trajectory of video games. In just a few decades, we leapt from crude pixel blocks to fully three-dimensional worlds, almost indistinguishable from reality. If technology keeps charging forward at this pace, one day humanity, or a more advanced civilization, will spin up a supercomputer capable of simulating the entire universe, complete with billions of virtual humans with thoughts and emotions identical to our own. So are we just lines of code? The cool breeze brushing against your skin right now, the tears you've cried, the moment you tilt your head back and drink in a sky full of stars tonight, all of it may be nothing more than commands running flat out on the servers of some higher civilization. More terrifying still, we are not even creatures of flesh and blood. We are virtual characters living out our lives inside a massive computer game, completely convinced we are real. The black hole information paradox. In the universe, there is one ironclad rule. Information never vanishes into thin air. If you dug up a book that had been rotting in the ground for centuries, scientists could theoretically piece back together its exact contents. The universe keeps tabs on everything. But then black holes showed up and blew that rule to pieces. If a spaceship, or you yourself, got pulled into a black hole, then after an immense stretch of time, the black hole would evaporate and vanish completely. At that point, every piece of information about the ship, or about your existence, would be wiped clean. This is a kind of death more terrifying than ordinary death. It means the universe is sitting on a supremely powerful delete button, one that can erase the meaning of anyone's existence without leaving so much as a footprint behind. To hold the laws of the universe together, physicists were backed into proposing an equally insane idea, the holographic principle. They theorized that when something falls into a black hole, its information doesn't disappear. Instead, it gets flattened and imprinted onto a flat 2D surface on the outside of the black hole. The vivid, three-dimensional world you are seeing and touching right now isn't the real thing. It's only a three-dimensional projection being cast from a flat 2D screen pinned at the very edge of the universe. We, when all is said and done, are nothing but 3D ghosts drifting through a film being projected onto us.